What if everything you perceive as real is simply an illusion meticulously crafted to conceal a deeper truth? What if, in a very real sense, you're already dead? Consider the recent headlines about scientists creating AI simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. Are we creators, or are we characters unknowingly trapped within someone else's digital sandbox? Understanding that this isn't just some morbid thought experiment, but a potential shift in perspective is paramount, because it empowers you to redefine the very experience of your life. Instead of a deterministic existence, think of it like quantum entanglement or the butterfly effect, where even the smallest choices you make can ripple outwards, influencing everything around you, rewriting what you thought was already written. Now, if we entertain the notion that our reality is a construct, whether it's the heat-death of the universe viewed from a different perspective or a complex simulation, then wouldn't there be subtle glitches in the system? Have you ever experienced a profound sense of déjà vu, so strong it felt like you were reliving a moment? Or perhaps an unexplainable coincidence, a perfect alignment of events that defied logic. These could be the cracks in the code, glimpses behind the curtain, or even clues that this world isn't as solid as we think it is. Consider the film, The Matrix, a cultural cornerstone that invites each one of us to question the reality that has been presented to us. Questioning what is true in the world around you is not just philosophical conjecture. It is your invitation to explore the world around you with a new set of eyes. Our senses, though incredibly complex, only capture a sliver of what's really out there. Think of a color blindness test. Someone might see a number perfectly clearly, while another sees only a blur. Both are looking at the same image, yet their brains interpret it in vastly different ways. That's a concrete demonstration of how we all experience reality uniquely. Now, zooming out from a singular example, consider entropy, the gradual descent into disorder, culminating in the universe's eventual heat-death. Some scientists believe that our existence, or perhaps even our entire universe, might be a temporary fluctuation, a fleeting simulation running within a far grander, more complex system. Juxtapose this with the controversial theory of quantum immortality, the idea that your consciousness perseveres, hopping between realities to avoid oblivion. This isn't about proving an afterlife. It's a mind-bending thought experiment exploring the potential nature of consciousness. Add to this the simulation hypothesis, championed by figures like Elon Musk, which posits that we're living in a computer simulation. All of these ideas converge on a central point. Consciousness may play a more significant role in shaping reality than we ever imagined. The double-slit experiment in quantum physics vividly demonstrates this, with the very act of observing influencing the behavior of particles. This leads to the fundamental idea that our beliefs act as filters, shaping our perception of reality. Consider the placebo effect, where a sugar pill can sometimes have the same effect as actual medicine, simply because the patient believes it will work. Or consider the self-fulfilling prophecy. If you convince yourself that you're going to fail, you often unconsciously act in ways that ensure that outcome. So, what if death isn't an ending, but a transition? If we're already dead, in some sense, how does that change our understanding of time, causality, and even free will? What does death even mean when viewed from the perspective of higher dimensions of spacetime? Is there a way to wake up from this simulated or deterministic reality? Is there an off switch, a reset button, or is it possible to transcend its limitations, to step outside the code? Techniques like mindfulness and meditation offer a path to shift consciousness, to dismantle limiting beliefs. But how can we be sure? By paying attention to the patterns and synchronicities in our lives, we can start to recognize the underlying structure of reality. Think of seeing a mathematical sequence pop up again and again, or noticing the same animal appearing during pivotal moments in your life. Are these random events, or are they whispers from the source code? In the segments to come, we'll uncover the actionable steps you can take to reclaim your awareness, your power, and your autonomy, regardless of whether you're already dead in some sense. Consider this your practical guide to not just questioning reality, but actively shifting it. Let's begin with entropy, the relentless march towards disorder. Imagine witnessing a star, a celestial beacon that has burned for billions of years, finally collapsing in on itself, fading into a cold, dark remnant. A cosmic sigh echoing the ultimate fate of the universe, a heat death where all energy is evenly distributed and nothing new can ever happen. It's a vision that can trigger a profound sense of insignificance, a feeling that all our struggles, all our creations, are ultimately meaningless in the face of such vast, uncaring timescales. But what if that feeling of futility is itself a key to unlocking a deeper truth? What if, instead of succumbing to existential dread, we recognize that this already dead scenario presents us with the ultimate challenge, to create meaning in a seemingly meaningless cosmos? If this is all there is, what are you truly going to do with it, not just to pass the time, but to leave a lasting impression on existence itself? Now, consider the tantalizing possibility of quantum immortality. This isn't a guarantee of eternal life, but a mind-bending exploration of how consciousness might navigate the branching paths of reality. In essence, it suggests that whenever we face a life-or-death situation, our consciousness splits, with one version experiencing death and another veering into a parallel timeline where we survive. Think about near-death experiences, those fleeting glimpses into what lies beyond. Take the account of Dr. Eben Alexander, a neurosurgeon who, during a severe coma caused by bacterial meningitis, described a journey into a realm of pure light, profound peace, and connection with a divine source. While science may offer alternative explanations for such experiences, they resonate with the idea of consciousness existing independently of the physical body, hinting that death might not be the definitive full stop we assume it is. Perhaps it's merely a transition, a quantum leap into another reality where we continue to exist. We are right now on a timeline where we have survived. Given this perspective, wouldn't it then be crucial to seize this moment, to pursue passions, build strong bonds, and live a life that truly reflects who we are at our core? Reframe those past mistakes or regrets. See them not as failures, but as deaths that occurred in other timelines, liberating you to move forward, unburdened in this one. This leads us to the simulation hypothesis, a concept that blends philosophy, technology, and a healthy dose of skepticism. While the idea of our universe being a computer program might sound like science fiction, it's gained traction among serious thinkers, and the question of how we would know if it's all real to begin with. A brain in a vat, wired to a supercomputer, experiencing a simulated reality indistinguishable from the real world, may not know the difference. Are there moments when the code falters, when the illusion flickers, revealing the underlying structure? Think of synchronicities, those uncanny coincidences that seem too meaningful to be random. Or déjà vu, the unsettling feeling that you've lived this exact moment before. Or intuitive insights, flashes of knowing that defy logical explanation. Have you ever noticed the same number sequence 11, 11, 22, 22 popping up repeatedly in your life? Or had a dream so vivid that it later unfolded in reality with eerie precision? Could these be glitches, anomalies hinting at a deeper, more complex reality beneath the surface? If we are indeed in a simulation, might there be ways to interact with the code, to bend the rules and shape our experience? Could techniques like visualization, affirmations, or focused intention be the cheat codes that allow us to influence the parameters of our simulated world? How do these seemingly disparate concepts, entropy, quantum immortality, and the simulation hypothesis connect? They all challenge the traditional notion of a fixed, deterministic reality. They suggest that our perceived existence may be far more fluid, malleable, and interconnected than we typically assume. Consider individuals who have defied medical prognoses, overcoming severe illnesses through the power of visualization and belief. For example, cancer patients who vividly imagine their immune cells attacking and destroying tumors, sometimes experiencing remarkable recoveries that defy conventional medical explanations. These examples showcase how the mind can influence the body and seemingly rewrite the script of reality. Perhaps consciousness itself is an emergent property, arising from the complex interactions within the universe or the simulation. If entropy, immortality, and simulation are simultaneously true, how then should we operate to flourish in this strange, ever-shifting landscape? To begin understanding the intersection, consider the illusion of time, a concept explored by Einstein himself. His theory of relativity suggests that time isn't a linear progression, but rather a dimension that is relative to the observer. The past, present, and future might all exist simultaneously, interwoven into the fabric of spacetime. Our entire life, from beginning to end, could be a single, unchanging event that we are simply experiencing in a linear fashion, moment by moment. Think about how societal structures reinforce this illusion of linear time. School schedules dictate the pace of learning, career paths map out decades in advance, and retirement plans hinge on a distant future. These constructs all subtly condition us to perceive time as a rigid, unyielding force. But what if we could break free from this linear mindset and fully embrace the power of the present moment? If time is an illusion, then now is the only moment that truly exists, the only point where we can exert our influence. Try focusing on your breath right now. Feel the sensation of the air entering and leaving your lungs. In that simple act of presence, you begin to dissolve the illusion of time and tap into the boundless potential of the present. Many are trapped in what might be termed spiritual death, a state of being confined by limiting beliefs, negative thought patterns, and the subtle yet pervasive programming of society. They may be physically alive, yet their spirits are dormant, their potential unrealized. Consider the limiting belief that you are unworthy of love, incapable of success, or powerless to change your circumstances. These deeply ingrained convictions act as invisible bars, keeping you imprisoned within a self-imposed reality. Spiritual awakening, then, is the process of shattering these limitations, of recognizing your true potential and reclaiming your inherent power. It involves cultivating mindfulness, self-compassion, and a willingness to question every assumption you hold dear. Is it possible to be reborn spiritually, even after a lifetime of being dead to your true self? Absolutely. The journey begins with a single, conscious choice to awaken. So, how do we wake up from this illusion of reality? Let's explore some practical techniques for disrupting the code and stepping into a more conscious existence. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool for observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing you to detach from limiting beliefs and create space for new perspectives. Then, practice reality checks, where you pause throughout the day and ask, is this real? Look for inconsistencies, anomalies, or glitches in your environment, anything that feels off. For instance, try looking at a digital clock, looking away and then looking back. Does the time seem to jump or flicker in an unusual way? Or try reading a sign, looking away and then reading it again. Do the words seem to shift or change slightly? Next is visualization. Use your imagination to create vivid mental images of your desired outcomes, whether it's a positive future, healing from an illness, or achieving a personal goal. Affirmations, which are the conscious repetitions of positive statements, can reprogram your subconscious mind and shift your beliefs. Try repeating affirmations like, I am worthy of love, I am capable of achieving my dreams, or I have the power to create my reality. Ultimately, reframing the idea of already being dead can be an incredibly empowering act. If reality is malleable, then you hold the power to create a more fulfilling existence, regardless of your past or perceived limitations. Embrace radical acceptance, acknowledging your current reality without judgment, which liberates you from resistance and clarifies your purpose. Recognize that even within a simulation or a deterministic universe, your choices still matter. Your actions can have ripple effects, influencing the experiences of others and contributing to the evolution of consciousness. Embrace the unknown with curiosity, exploring the mysteries of existence. Even if the full nature of reality remains elusive, the journey itself is profoundly worthwhile. Let's delve deeper into these glitches in the matrix. Consider those moments of synchronicity, like thinking of an old friend you haven't seen in years, and then they suddenly call you out of the blue. Or that feeling of déjà vu, the unsettling sensation that you've lived this exact moment before, down to the smallest detail. Neurologists might explain these experiences as mere misfires in the brain or the brain's ability to recognize patterns. But what if there's more to it than that? What if these are glimpses behind the veil, potential code errors in the simulation, or bleed-throughs from other timelines? Have you ever had a name pop into your head right before you meet someone with that exact name? Or thought of a specific song, and it immediately starts playing on the radio? These occurrences might hint at something extraordinary. Then there's the concept of non-local consciousness, the idea that our minds are interconnected in ways that defy our conventional understanding of space and time. Could these synchronicities be evidence of this interconnectedness? Moments when our minds momentarily tap into a larger, more fundamental reality. Perhaps these are signs that you're aligning with a deeper level of existence. As a challenge, record these moments of synchronicity to better understand their source and meaning. Pay attention to the emotions you experience during these events and the thoughts that are present in your mind. This practice might offer insights into the nature of reality and your place within it. Now, let's confront the age-old debate between free will and determinism. Is choice merely an illusion? Philosophical arguments for determinism suggest that all events are predetermined, and our sense of free will is simply a trick of the mind. In a simulation or deterministic universe, our choices might be pre-programmed, much like the actions of characters in a video game. But before you sink into despair, there's the concept of compatibilism, which attempts to reconcile these seemingly opposing viewpoints. It suggests that we can still have meaningful choices, even if our actions are ultimately caused by prior events. If every choice is predetermined, does that absolve us of accountability for our actions? If our actions create our reality, yet those actions are also predetermined, can these two seemingly opposite concepts coexist? Consider this. Even if free will is an illusion, the belief in it can be incredibly empowering. It motivates us to take responsibility for our lives and strive for personal growth. Take the case of someone who reframed their life after feeling trapped by their circumstances. Perhaps they were stuck in a dead-end job, feeling like they had no control over their career path. By consciously choosing to take ownership of their life, they might have enrolled in online courses, networked with professionals in their desired field, and eventually landed a fulfilling new position. Even if their initial circumstances seemed predetermined, their belief in their ability to change their path empowered them to create a new reality. Consider, also, the observer effect in quantum physics, which demonstrates how the act of observation can influence the behavior of particles. Could consciousness play a more active role in shaping reality than we traditionally believe? Expand upon the possibility that individual consciousness acts as a localized collapse of a larger quantum field. Consider the studies showing focused intention influencing the outcome of experiments or the healing process. Consider the study on the effects of prayer on healing, highlighting the statistical significance of the results. People from different faiths prayed for the recovery of patients undergoing heart surgery. The study found that the patients who received prayer had fewer complications and recovered more quickly than those who did not. This raises profound questions about the power of intention and its potential to influence physical reality. This isn't just wishful thinking. This ties into the law of attraction, but with a scientific spin. Our beliefs and expectations might influence the probabilities of different outcomes occurring in our lives. If you approach life with a sense of optimism and expect positive results, you might be more likely to notice opportunities and take actions that lead to success. Conversely, if you are consumed by negativity and expect failure, you might inadvertently create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now let's examine the subtle ways society programs us to accept limiting beliefs and conform to the status quo. From a young age, we are bombarded with messages through education, media, advertising, and cultural norms. Are you following a certain career path because you genuinely love it, or because you feel pressured to meet societal expectations? Have you ever felt compelled to conform to certain beauty standards, even though they don't align with your personal values? Or do you blindly believe in certain political ideologies without questioning their underlying assumptions? These are just a few examples of how societal programming can limit our expression of individuality. Consider the concept of manufactured consent, the idea that the media can shape public opinion to support the interests of the powerful. Think about how news outlets often frame events in a way that promotes a particular narrative, subtly influencing our perceptions and beliefs. This opens the door to social engineering and the use of propaganda to manipulate individuals and groups. If society is truly a conditioning machine, how can we identify and resist its programming? Where does our personal autonomy even begin? To break free, adopt practical exercises for identifying and dismantling societal programming. Question assumptions, challenge authority, seek diverse perspectives, and cultivate critical thinking. Adopt cognitive restructuring to identify and change negative thought patterns. If you find yourself constantly thinking, "I'm not good enough," challenge the validity of that thought with evidence-based reasoning. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this belief? What evidence contradicts it? You might discover that your negative self-talk is based on faulty assumptions and limiting beliefs that you've internalized from external sources. Become more mindful of the information you consume and the influences that shape your beliefs. Consider reducing your exposure to mainstream media and seeking out alternative sources of information that offer different perspectives. Read books, listen to podcasts, and engage in conversations with people who hold different viewpoints than your own. This will help you broaden your understanding of the world and challenge your own biases. In this deprogramming, remember self-awareness and self-compassion. Breaking free from societal conditioning is a process, not an event. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and acknowledge that setbacks are a normal part of the journey. Now, take charge of your personal timeline by making conscious choices that align with your desired future. Consider the concept of timeline jumping as a conceptual exercise. If you're unhappy with your current life, imagine yourself stepping onto a different timeline, one where you're living your ideal existence. What choices would you make differently? What actions would you take to create that reality? If you seek abundance through employment, is that truly abundance, or is it simply a means to an end? Expand your definition of abundance to encompass financial freedom, fulfilling relationships, vibrant health, and meaningful experiences. How can you create a life that encompasses all of these aspects? This aligns with the concept of intentional living, making deliberate choices that reflect our values and priorities. Visualize your desired future and take concrete steps to make it a reality. Set clear goals, create a vision board, and take consistent action towards your dreams. Remember, even small steps can make a big difference over time. Let's end this section with a challenge. Become active co-creators of your reality and challenge the perceived limitations of your existence. Even if we don't fully understand the nature of reality, we have the power to influence our experience and contribute to the evolution of consciousness. Connect with others who are also questioning reality and seeking a more fulfilling existence. But keep in mind that strength in numbers is not always the answer, as conformity to a group belief can create its own new limitations. Finally, know that the possibility of already being dead can be a catalyst for living more fully, consciously, and authentically in the present moment. If this is all there is, then it is time to take charge of the moment. But what if the very fabric of reality extends far beyond the tangible world that our five senses perceive? Does materialism, the belief that only matter is real, truly account for everything we experience? Can it explain consciousness, the feeling of being alive, of having subjective experiences? Does it account for those unexplainable moments of intuition, premonition, or connection that defy the known laws of physics? Many scientists and philosophers are now challenging the completeness of the materialist worldview, pointing to phenomena that simply cannot be explained by matter alone. Consider, for example, the placebo effect, where a sugar pill can sometimes produce the same physiological effects as a real medication. If our minds can heal our bodies, what does that say about the relationship between consciousness and matter? Or consider near-death experiences, where individuals report vivid out-of-body sensations, encounters with deceased loved ones, and profound spiritual insights. These experiences often occur when the brain is clinically dead, raising questions about the nature of consciousness and its potential independence from the physical body. Such considerations erode confidence in materialism as a complete worldview. Enter quantum physics, a mind-bending realm of science that challenges our most basic assumptions about reality. At the subatomic level, particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until measured, a concept known as superposition. Then there's quantum entanglement, where two particles can become linked in such a way that they instantaneously affect each other, even when separated by vast distances. And don't forget the uncertainty principle, which states that we can never know both the position and momentum of a particle with perfect accuracy. The double-slit experiment perfectly illustrates this. When scientists fire electrons at a screen through two slits, the electrons create an interference pattern, behaving like waves. But when they try to observe which slit the electron passes through, the interference pattern disappears, and the electrons start behaving like particles. The very act of observation seems to change the behavior of reality. Could this imply that consciousness is not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the unfolding of reality? This leads to the provocative idea that consciousness may not be merely a byproduct of matter, but rather a fundamental aspect of reality itself. This addresses the hard problem of consciousness, which is that we don't know how subjective experience arises from objective matter. How does the gray matter of your brain produce the vibrant colors you see, the rich emotions you feel, or the sense of self that you experience? Some philosophers propose panpsychism, the idea that consciousness is a fundamental property of all matter, not just brains. Every particle, every atom, every molecule has some degree of consciousness, no matter how small. This means that consciousness is not something that emerges from complexity, but something that is always present. If consciousness is indeed fundamental, then our physical bodies may be temporary vessels for a more fundamental consciousness, a concept that echoes ancient spiritual traditions. If you truly believed your body was a temporary vessel, would you treat it differently? Would you prioritize different experiences? Would you approach relationships with a greater sense of presence and appreciation? Now, let's explore how we can actively transcend this perceived dead state by consciously shifting our state of being. Techniques like meditation, hypnosis, and shamanism offer powerful tools for accessing different levels of consciousness and influencing our reality. These aren't just ancient practices, they're methods for recalibrating your awareness, for stepping outside the ordinary confines of your mind. Meditation, for example, can help us quiet the constant chatter of the mind and connect with a deeper sense of inner peace. Hypnosis can allow us to access the subconscious mind and reprogram limiting beliefs. Shamanism, with its rituals and altered states of consciousness, can provide us with a profound connection to nature and the spiritual world. Are these doorways to another timeline, or merely effective psychological tools for accessing deeper potential? Let's put this into practice with an actionable technique, a guided meditation to connect with your inner self and visualize your desired reality. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling gently through your mouth. With each breath, relax your body more and more, releasing any tension you may be holding. Imagine a warm, golden light surrounding you, filling you with peace and tranquility. Now, visualize your desired reality as vividly as possible. See yourself living the life you truly want, achieving your goals, and experiencing joy, love, and fulfillment. Feel the emotions associated with this reality as if it's already happening. Repeat positive affirmations to yourself, such as, I am healthy, I am abundant, I am loved. Continue this meditation for 10-15 minutes, allowing yourself to fully immerse in your desired reality. When you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the present moment, carrying with you the positive feelings and intentions you cultivated during the meditation. Another portal to shifting states of being is lucid dreaming, where you become aware that you are dreaming and gain the ability to control your dreams. It's like discovering the cheat codes to your subconscious. Start by keeping a dream journal and writing down your dreams as soon as you wake up. This will help you improve your dream recall and identify recurring themes and patterns. Perform frequent reality checks throughout the day, asking yourself, am I dreaming? Look at a clock, look away, and look back. Does the time change? Or try pushing your finger through your palm. If you're dreaming, your finger will pass right through. These habits will carry over into your dreams, increasing your chances of becoming lucid. Once you become lucid, you can explore the possibilities of this altered state of consciousness. Fly through the air, visit exotic locations, meet with your subconscious, or even rewrite the rules of reality. It's an internal playground for the mind. And what about sensory deprivation? While it might sound extreme, floating in a sensory deprivation tank can provide a unique opportunity to quiet the mind and access deeper states of awareness. By eliminating external stimuli, you can reduce the amount of sensory input that your brain has to process, allowing you to focus on your inner world. However, it's important to approach sensory deprivation with caution. Some individuals may experience anxiety, claustrophobia, or hallucinations. It's best to start with short sessions and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. Now, consider this. Driving home after a long day, stuck in stop-and-go traffic, feeling your frustration rise. Instead of succumbing to road rage, you remember the meditation techniques. You close your eyes for a moment, while stopped, of course. Take a deep breath and visualize a calm, serene scene. You repeat an affirmation, I am calm, I am patient, I am in control. You shift your state of being, transforming a stressful situation into an opportunity for mindfulness. This brings us to the concept of reality transurfing, a model that proposes we navigate between different reality streams by consciously directing our thoughts and intentions. Imagine that the universe is like a vast ocean, and each reality stream is like a different wave. By tuning into a specific frequency with our thoughts and emotions, we can catch that wave and experience that particular reality. This is like choosing a channel on a TV, as each channel carries a distinct program, or in this case, a specific version of reality. But how can you adjust your dial and intentionally select a more favorable channel? The key lies in understanding the power of intention, focus, and emotional resonance. Let's begin with intention. Your intentions are like seeds that you plant in the garden of your mind. The more clearly and consistently you focus on your intentions, the more likely they are to sprout and blossom into reality. Our thoughts and feelings can influence the probabilities of different outcomes occurring in our lives. This is not to say that you can manifest anything you desire simply by wishing for it, but by aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your intentions, you can create a powerful force that attracts opportunities and favorable circumstances. Consider this actionable plan for harnessing the power of intention. First, define your goals. Second, create a mental image of what you seek. Third, put your intention into the universe, believing in the potential for your goal to come to fruition. Now, incorporate these tangible applications for harnessing the power of intention. Guide yourself through a visualization to manifest a goal. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes, visualize the clear mental image, and feel the emotions. If your goal is getting a promotion, visualize yourself excelling in your new role, receiving praise from your superiors, and enjoying the increased responsibilities and rewards. Feel the sense of accomplishment, pride, and satisfaction. Focus on the process rather than the outcome, enjoying each step of the journey. Or create and use affirmations to reprogram our subconscious mind. Write down positive statements that reflect your desired reality, such as, I am worthy of abundance, I am healthy and vibrant, I attract loving and supportive relationships, and I am confident and powerful. Repeat these affirmations daily, with feeling and conviction, allowing them to sink into your subconscious mind and shift your beliefs. Start a daily gratitude practice, focusing on the positive aspects of your life. Keep a gratitude journal, write thank you notes, or simply take a few moments each day to appreciate the good things in your life. What if the very act of appreciating what you have opens the door to receiving more? This is the core of emotional resonance, the idea that our emotions can amplify the power of our intentions. When we cultivate positive emotions like joy, love, and gratitude, we create a positive feedback loop that attracts positive experiences into our lives. This is like tuning a musical instrument to a specific frequency. When you strike a tuning fork, it vibrates at a particular frequency, creating a pure, resonant tone. Similarly, when you focus on positive emotions, you create a resonant frequency that attracts experiences that are in harmony with those emotions. Consider a practical integration of this concept. If you are feeling stressed or anxious, take a few minutes to focus on something that brings you joy, whether it's spending time with loved ones, listening to music, or engaging in a creative activity. Allow yourself to fully experience the positive emotions and notice how your state of being shifts. Finally, let's emphasize the importance of embodying the identity of the person you want to become. It's not enough to simply visualize your desired reality or repeat affirmations. You must also act as if you have already achieved your goals and become the person you want to be. Our self-image and beliefs shape our behavior and our reality. If you see yourself as someone who is confident and successful, you will act in ways that reflect that belief. This is like method acting, where actors fully immerse themselves in their roles, adopting the mannerisms, behaviors, and beliefs of their characters. By consistently embodying the new self, we can gradually change our beliefs and create a new reality. If you want to be a writer, write every day. If you want to be an artist, create art every day. If you want to be a leader, take on leadership roles. Act as if you already possess the qualities and skills you desire, and you will gradually embody them. You can practically apply the concept of embodying the new self. Experiment with role-playing, acting as if you have already achieved your goals, and living as the person you want to become. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, start dressing the part, networking with other entrepreneurs, and taking on projects that challenge you. Pay attention to how it feels to embody this new identity and adjust your behavior accordingly. Try mirror work by looking at yourself in the mirror and speaking positive affirmations. Look yourself in the eye and say, I love and accept myself unconditionally. I am confident and capable. I am worthy of success. Notice how it feels to speak these words to yourself and allow yourself to receive the love and acceptance that you deserve. Design an environment that supports your new identity and goals. If you want to be healthier, declutter your space. Surround yourself with inspiring images and objects, and create a routine that aligns with your desired lifestyle. This helps create a physical space to match the mental shift. Consider the case study of someone who dramatically transformed their life by consciously adopting a new identity and taking consistent action towards their goals. Perhaps someone struggling with obesity and low self-esteem decided to become a fitness enthusiast. They started by visualizing themselves as a healthy, fit person, and they created a vision board with images of their ideal body. Then they started taking consistent action, joining a gym, working with a personal trainer, and adopting a healthy diet. They also started embodying the identity of a fitness enthusiast, wearing workout clothes, listening to motivational podcasts, and connecting with other fitness enthusiasts. Over time, they not only transformed their body, but they also transformed their self-image and their entire life. As we come to the end of this section, let's think about integrating these ideas into the fabric of your daily life. Approach every situation as an opportunity to practice mindfulness, intention, and embodiment. It's a chance to act from your new sense of personal agency. Remember, self-awareness and self-compassion are key components in this integration process. Be patient with yourself, acknowledge your progress, and know that setbacks are a normal part of the process. Expand your horizons with the concept of multidimensionality, recognizing that you exist simultaneously on multiple levels of reality. Physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, explore these dimensions of your being to truly know yourself. Let's end with this. Even the unsettling possibility of already being dead can become a powerful catalyst. It can propel you towards living a life that's more fully engaged, more aware, and more genuine in every moment. It's an invitation to embrace the great mystery, venture into the unknown, and design a life that resonates with profound meaning and purpose. The next step is to uncover what happens after death, whether this all is a simulation, and where we truly go when we are gone. Now, let's delve deeper into this simulation. Imagine our lives mirroring a vast, immersive video game. We, as players, create avatars, choose character classes, and embark on quests within a meticulously crafted digital world. We accumulate experience points, level up our skills, and interact with other players, all within the confines of the game's rules and parameters. Doesn't our existence, in many ways, resemble this scenario? We're born into physical bodies, take on identities shaped by our environment and experiences, and navigate a reality filled with both challenges and opportunities. Think of your daily routine. Waking up, going to work, interacting with colleagues, pursuing hobbies, these are all quests within the game of life. What if our perceived reality is simply a highly advanced form of this type of game? What if we're so immersed in the experience that we've forgotten that we are the player behind the screen? Consider the ego as the primary avatar we manifest in this reality, complete with its own meticulously constructed profile, distinct personality traits, and intensely held beliefs. This ego, constructed from our experiences, societal conditioning, and personal narratives, acts as a filter through which we perceive the world, shaping our reactions and decisions. It's the voice inside our head that constantly narrates our lives, judging, comparing, and evaluating everything we encounter. However, by recognizing the inherent limits of the ego, we can commence a journey toward a more expansive realm of consciousness. Imagine, for instance, receiving criticism at work. Your ego might immediately react with defensiveness, anger, or insecurity. However, if you can observe this reaction without identifying with it, you can gain valuable insight into the ego's need for validation and control. Detaching from this immediate emotional response creates a space for a more thoughtful, rational, and compassionate response. What if that critical colleague is just a character in your personal video game who's been programmed to play the role of the antagonist? Ask yourself this. What if your physical body is simply a sophisticated vehicle controlled by a higher, more conscious aspect of yourself? If that were the case, would that change how you treat your body? Would you be more inclined to prioritize its well-being, seeing it as a valuable tool for navigating this reality? And if our bodies are merely avatars, could we upgrade or customize them to enhance our experience? Could we improve our health, increase our strength, or even alter our appearance through the power of our minds and intentions? If we truly saw our physical forms as modifiable constructs, how might we approach self-improvement differently? Furthermore, if we are participating in some type of elaborate game, can we identify the parameters and objectives of it? Who are the fellow participants? What is at stake if we become overly consumed with our avatar while losing sight of our role as the player? Can we even alter the fundamental nature of the game itself? Now, let's explore the idea that our deeply ingrained belief systems function much like software, diligently programming our experience within this elaborate simulation. These beliefs, acquired through our upbringing, education, and cultural conditioning, act as the underlying code that shapes our perceptions, reactions, and ultimately, our reality. Limiting beliefs, in particular, can operate as obstructive firewalls or disruptive bugs within our system, effectively restricting our inherent potential and preventing us from fully realizing our aspirations. What if these bugs are deliberately implanted code designed to keep us trapped in a cycle of limitation and scarcity? What if mainstream news outlets are nothing more than sources to inject programming into the population? Consider these specific examples of belief systems that can exert a profound impact on our experience. When it comes to money, for instance, if we cultivate a deep-seated belief in its scarcity or view it as inherently evil, we may unwittingly engage in self-sabotaging behaviors that hinder our financial prosperity. We might resist opportunities for advancement, undervalue our skills, or even develop a subconscious aversion to wealth. In the realm of relationships, if we harbor the conviction that we are unworthy of love, or that meaningful connections are inherently challenging, we might unintentionally attract emotionally unavailable partners or create self-fulfilling prophecies of conflict and dissatisfaction. And with regard to health, if we believe that we are predisposed to illness or that the aging process is synonymous with inevitable decline, we might inadvertently manifest these limiting beliefs in our physical forms, predisposing ourselves to ailments and accelerating the aging trajectory. But here's the empowering truth. Just as software can be updated and reprogrammed, so too can our belief systems be revised to support a more expansive and fulfilling reality. To begin this transformative process, we must first embark on a journey of self-discovery, diligently examining our thoughts and feelings to unearth deeply ingrained beliefs that may be insidiously holding us back. Ask yourself, what assumptions am I making about myself, about others, about the world? What am I afraid of? What do I believe is possible for me? Once we have identified these limiting beliefs, it is essential to challenge their validity. Scrutinize the evidence that supports these beliefs and actively seek out evidence that contradicts them. Question the source of these beliefs. Are they based on personal experience or simply inherited from others? Finally, replace these self-limiting beliefs with new, empowering affirmations that resonate with your desired reality. Write these affirmations down, repeat them regularly, and allow them to gradually reshape your subconscious mind. I am worthy of love and abundance. I am capable of achieving my goals. I am healthy and vibrant. Can we truly rewrite the software code to create a more fulfilling experience? And if we can, is there a master program that exerts overarching control over all of reality? Or are we, as individuals, solely responsible for programming our own experiences? This leads us to lucidity, a state of awareness where we recognize that we're immersed in a simulation and wield the power to consciously influence its unfolding. It's akin to waking up within a dream and realizing that you are the architect of that dreamscape. We are not merely passive observers, but active co-creators of our reality. Drawing parallels between the phenomena of lucid dreaming and lucid living, we can cultivate an elevated state of consciousness that permeates our waking lives. What if the rules of physics are just the code of the simulation? What if time is not linear, but a fluid and malleable construct that we can bend to our will? If we can consciously reprogram our belief systems and harness the power of our intentions, what limitations remain? Consider these practical exercises for cultivating lucidity. Initiate the practice of performing routine reality checks throughout your day. Periodically, pause and ask yourself the pivotal question: am I dreaming? Then, scrutinize your environment for inconsistencies, anomalies, or illogicalities that might betray the illusory nature of your surroundings. Attempt to perform simple feats that would be impossible in the waking world, such as levitating an object or altering the color of the sky. Engage in the practice of mindfulness meditation, which cultivates a heightened awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations. Mindfulness can serve to improve your recognition of recurring patterns of behavior. Maintain a detailed dream journal, diligently recording your dreams as soon as you awaken. This practice will not only enhance your dream recall, but also assist you in recognizing recurring themes and patterns within your subconscious mind. Combine lucidity with intention, and we gain the ability to hack the simulation and override limiting programs. Intention, in this context, serves as a potent catalyst for shaping our reality. Our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs can significantly influence the probabilities of various outcomes materializing in our lives. By consciously directing our focus, energy, and emotions towards our desired outcomes, we can subtly shift the quantum field in our favor. Consider the stories of those who have consciously employed these techniques to surmount seemingly insurmountable obstacles or to manifest their most cherished desires. Perhaps an individual facing a life-threatening illness utilized visualization and positive affirmations to activate their body's natural healing mechanisms. Or an entrepreneur harnessed the power of intention to attract the resources and opportunities necessary to launch a successful business. What if, by consciously harnessing the power of lucidity and intention, we could rewrite the very code of reality? But let us dare to question the assumption that this simulation is the ultimate, all-encompassing reality. What if there exists a transcendent realm beyond the confines of this virtual construct, a true self that remains unconstrained by the limitations and illusions of the game? This true self might exist in a higher dimension, a plane of pure consciousness that is the source of all creation. Is this the realm that mystics and spiritual teachers have described for centuries? Consider enlightenment as a transformative process of realizing our authentic selves, disentangling ourselves from the illusion of separation, and merging with the underlying unity of all existence. Numerous spiritual traditions allude to this concept, describing a state of profound peace, wisdom, and unconditional love that transcends the limitations of the ego and the material world. By cultivating self-awareness, compassion, and a deep connection to something far grander than ourselves, we can start to catch glimpses of this exalted reality. Could the simulation be a classroom designed to teach us valuable lessons, prepare us for a higher level of existence? If there is such a reality, what awaits us there, and how can we access it? What transpires with our consciousness upon experiencing death within this simulated realm? Is it conceivable that we could converge with the underlying source code, or potentially return to the Creator itself? Even if our choices are predetermined, can we ignore the ethical implications of living in a simulated reality? Perhaps karma exists as a tool for calibrating our actions within the simulation, or maybe our actions cascade across future events. If everyone is connected within the simulation, what obligation do we bear toward one another? Do we attempt to improve the quality of the game for others? Is hacking the system an appropriate action if it is selfishly or maliciously done? Perhaps we should simply find our purpose and embrace the mystery of life as a game, approaching it with curiosity and joy. The grand design might never be revealed, but we can choose to create our own meaning. We can live fully, consciously, and authentically in the present moment. Even if the game is rigged, we can still find our purpose and align our actions with our values. What awaits us as we look into what happens after death? Where do we truly go? Let's now consider the concept of effortless action, often referred to as Wu Wei in Eastern philosophy, and how it intersects with the idea of living in a simulated reality. Wu Wei is not about laziness or passivity. Rather, it's about aligning ourselves with the natural flow of the universe, acting without force or resistance. It's the art of doing by not doing that achieving results by allowing things to unfold organically. Think of a skilled musician who improvises a beautiful melody, seemingly without effort, yet with incredible precision and artistry. Or picture a seasoned athlete who moves with grace and fluidity, responding instinctively to the changing dynamics of the game, as if guided by an invisible force. When have you experienced Wu Wei in your own life, feeling completely in sync with the moment and effortlessly achieving your goals? Could it be that these moments of flow are instances where we momentarily transcend the rigid programming of the simulation and tap into a more intuitive, authentic mode of being? These experiences often manifest as flow states, where we become so deeply immersed in an activity that time seems to vanish, and we lose ourselves in the present moment. These states are characterized by intense focus, heightened creativity, and a sense of effortless mastery. However, you cannot schedule a flow state, as it's not something you can force. Rather, it's about creating the conditions that make it more likely to occur. This involves setting clear, challenging, but achievable goals that stretch your abilities without overwhelming you. It means eliminating distractions, creating a space where you can fully focus on the task at hand, without interruption from external stimuli or internal chatter. And it requires paying close attention to feedback, both internal and external, so you can adjust your actions and stay on track. For example, consider an athlete training for a marathon. They set a challenging goal, follow a structured training plan, eliminate distractions by focusing on their form and breathing, and continuously monitor their progress, making adjustments as needed. Is it possible these states are those in which we are truly alive? Could these flow states represent brief moments where we are less constrained by the linear perception of time and more intimately connected to the now? Perhaps time, as we perceive it, is simply a construct of the simulation, a way to organize and make sense of our experiences within this virtual reality. In these states, we aren't worried about the past or anxious about the future. We are simply present, fully engaged in the activity at hand. This total immersion may allow us to bypass the limitations of the programmed reality and tap into a deeper level of awareness, potentially giving us greater agency to shape our experience. Furthermore, could these flow states be considered code overrides, moments where our actions are most authentic and unconstrained by the deterministic forces that may govern the simulation? If our choices are predetermined, as some theories suggest, then these moments of spontaneous creativity and effortless action could represent a temporary escape from the confines of determinism, a glimpse into a reality where we have greater freedom and autonomy. But if these states are more aligned to our authentic self and more aligned to freedom of thought, is it possible that it is an indication that those actions are not our assigned purpose? Or are we meant to find our purpose in a world that needs balance? What if Wu Wei is not merely a state of mind, but a fundamental aspect of our true nature, a way of being that transcends the limitations of the simulated reality? Let's now confront the profound and often paralyzing emotion of fear, particularly the fear of death, as a potent control mechanism wielded by the simulation or deterministic reality. The fear of death, deeply ingrained within our psyches, serves as a subtle yet pervasive form of manipulation, limiting our potential and imprisoning us within the confines of self-imposed limitations. This fear often steers us away from taking risks, exploring uncharted territories, and fully embracing the richness and uncertainty of life. However, it's worth contemplating whether death, from a quantum perspective, isn't an end, but rather a transition, a change of state akin to water transforming into steam. If you weren't afraid of death, what would you do differently? What if death is not the absolute termination we perceive it to be, but rather an illusion, a transition to an alternate state of being, or a return to the source consciousness from which we originated? Perhaps it's akin to unplugging from the simulation and rejoining the larger network of consciousness. Consider the numerous accounts of individuals who have undergone near-death experiences, NDEs, reporting profound encounters with light, love, and a sense of unity with all things. Or consider the stories of those nearing death who seem to converse with departed loved ones, as if glimpsing into a realm beyond our immediate perception. Are these merely hallucinations, or could they be glimpses into the true nature of reality, offering a comforting reassurance that death is not an ending, but a transformation? What does this transformation hold for us as we consider that we may have been dead all along? To begin unraveling the grip of the fear of death, let's consider some practical exercises. Contemplate your own mortality, not as a morbid exercise, but as a catalyst for appreciating the preciousness of life and aligning your actions with your deepest values. Reflect on what truly matters to you, what legacy you wish to leave behind, and how you can make the most of your time in this simulated reality. Research near-death experiences, exploring the narratives of those who have glimpsed beyond the veil of physical existence. Consider the possibility that consciousness survives physical death, and that our existence extends beyond the confines of this simulated reality. You may find that exploring these experiences will provide you with a sense of peace and reassurance. Practice mindfulness, cultivating a heightened awareness of your thoughts and feelings about death. By becoming more attuned to your inner landscape, you can gently detach from the grip of fear and embrace a more accepting perspective. Can the fear of death actually be a motivator to live the best life possible? By challenging the fear of death, we open ourselves up to a more expansive and meaningful existence. If death is indeed an illusion, then the only moment that truly matters is now. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? How would you live your life if you were liberated from the constraints of fear and doubt? What dreams would you pursue? What risks would you take? And what contributions would you make to the world? Perhaps the greatest act of rebellion against the simulation is to live fully and authentically in the present moment, embracing the uncertainty and joy of existence without reservation. If the current moment is all there is, can the fear of death be a guide to appreciating the now? Let's return to the fascinating concept of quantum superposition, which reveals that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until they are observed. Can we draw a parallel between this quantum phenomenon and our own existence, suggesting that we, too, may exist in a state of superposition, with multiple potential realities available to us? Are we living multiple lives at once, experiencing different outcomes based on our choices and beliefs? Consider the athlete visualizing a successful shot before taking it. In their mind, they are already experiencing the victory, and this mental rehearsal can influence the probability of success in the physical world. The power of choice is critical, and it empowers us to collapse the wave function and determine which reality we ultimately experience. Our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs act as the observer in the quantum experiment, influencing the probabilities of different outcomes occurring in our lives. If we consistently focus on positive outcomes and cultivate empowering beliefs, we increase the likelihood of manifesting those realities. Conversely, if we dwell on negative thoughts and harbor limiting beliefs, we may inadvertently attract undesirable experiences. To effectively harness the power of choice, let's incorporate these practical exercises into our daily lives. Set clear intentions by defining your desired outcomes with specificity and focus. What do you truly want to create in your life? Visualize these desired realities, creating vivid mental images of yourself living the life you want to create. Engage your senses, immersing yourself in the sights, sounds, smells, and feelings of your ideal reality. Take inspired action, recognizing that action is necessary to collapse the wave function and bring your desires into physical manifestation. Don't just passively wait for things to happen. Take proactive steps towards your goals, trusting that the universe will conspire to support you. Are you ready to step into the quantum you? Reframe the challenges that you face in your life as opportunities to make powerful choices that shape your reality. Each decision point, each obstacle encountered, represents a chance to steer your life in a new direction, to collapse the wave function in favor of a more desirable outcome. Embrace these challenges as catalysts for growth and transformation, knowing that they are ultimately shaping the quantum you. Perhaps we should be grateful for our lives and those who challenged us. To continue, let's think about altered states of consciousness as potential gateways, portals through which we can access alternative realities or unlock deeper levels of awareness that lie dormant within us. These states, induced through various practices and experiences, can temporarily suspend the ordinary constraints of our perception, offering us glimpses into the underlying fabric of reality. There are a lot of activities that can alter our state of consciousness, offering a glimpse behind the curtain. Meditation can quiet the mind and allow us to connect with our inner selves, providing access to deeper levels of intuition and insight. Breathwork techniques can alter our physiology, inducing states of euphoria, expanded awareness, and emotional release. Psychedelics, used responsibly and with proper guidance, can temporarily disrupt our habitual thought patterns, opening us up to new perspectives and possibilities. Sensory deprivation, achieved through practices such as flotation therapy, can reduce external stimulation, allowing the mind to explore its own inner landscape. Dreamwork, the practice of interpreting and consciously influencing our dreams, can provide access to our subconscious mind, revealing hidden patterns and insights. But is there a risk to altering one's state of consciousness, particularly if we have been dead all along? By venturing into these altered states of consciousness, we can gain insights into the true nature of reality. What if waking up from the simulation or deterministic reality involves expanding our consciousness beyond the limitations of our ordinary waking state? What if the key to unlocking our full potential lies in exploring the depths of our own minds? But it's essential to approach these explorations with caution and respect, recognizing that altered states of consciousness can be powerful and potentially disorienting. Should you proceed at all, let's raise the stakes. Is it possible to permanently alter our consciousness and transcend the limitations of the simulation? What are the potential benefits and risks of exploring alternative realities? Is this an ethical pursuit, or are we venturing into territory that is best left unexplored? Could delving too deeply into these realms unravel our sanity or expose us to forces that are beyond our comprehension? Are we playing with fire when we attempt to tamper with the fundamental nature of our own consciousness? Finally, let's consider that there may be architects or programmers of this simulated reality, beings or forces that are shaping our world from behind the scenes. Are these the puppet masters pulling the strings of our existence, or are they simply custodians of the simulation, ensuring its smooth operation? Could there be malevolent and benevolent architects, each with their own agendas and motivations? Is our reality the result of a cosmic battle between these opposing forces, a struggle between light and darkness played out on the stage of our simulated world? Could those who are awakened possess the potential to become co-creators of the simulation, working alongside or even challenging the architects? Can those who become aware of the code alter it? Imagine individuals who have transcended the limitations of the physical world, able to move through walls, manipulate objects with their minds, or even bend the laws of physics to their will. Are these mere fantasies, or could they be glimpses into the untapped potential that lies dormant within all of us? As the architects of our reality, how can we embrace our role as co-creators to build a more fulfilling and equitable world for all? The key to co-creating a new reality lies in the ethical use of our power. We must strive to create a reality that is based on love, compassion, and respect for all beings, recognizing that we are all interconnected within this simulated reality. What does it mean to co-create? Does this mean hacking the system, or does it mean creating a new reality? Does it mean manipulating those around us to bring our desires into being, or does it mean aligning ourselves with a higher purpose? Therefore, embrace your potential as co-creators, and let's work towards building a more fulfilling and equitable reality for all. The time has come for each of us to take a stand and define where we exist on the spectrum of awakened or architect. Are we content to remain as passive players within the simulation, or are we ready to embrace our power as co-creators and shape the world around us according to our highest aspirations? The choice, ultimately, is ours. But what if it isn't? What if it is already decided? Now, let's shift our focus slightly and explore the fascinating concept of reality glitching. You've probably heard the term glitches in the Matrix, referring to those strange coincidences or inconsistencies that make you question the nature of reality. But what if we could refine this idea into a practical skill, a way to actively seek out and capitalize on these code errors? What if reality glitching is less about passive observation and more about active engagement? Think of reality glitching as intentionally disrupting the expected patterns of your daily life to reveal hidden layers of reality and potentially influence its course. One way to do this is through pattern disruption. For example, if you always take the same route to work, try a different one, even if it's less efficient. You might discover a hidden gem in your city or encounter an unexpected opportunity. Or, if you always eat the same foods, experiment with new cuisines or ingredients. This can not only expand your palate, but also expose you to different cultural perspectives and ways of thinking. Another powerful glitching technique involves questioning assumptions. What do you consider normal? Is it based on your own experiences or on societal and cultural norms that have been imposed upon you? By challenging these fundamental beliefs, you can reveal hidden limitations and open yourself up to new possibilities. Perhaps you've always believed that you're not creative, but what if you challenged that assumption and started experimenting with art, music, or writing? You might surprise yourself with your hidden talents, and perhaps the biggest glitch of them all is the feeling of being challenged. Is it possible that the challenge has been placed in your path to make you stronger? Then there's the art of following synchronicities. Have you ever had the experience of unexpectedly meeting someone who held the key to overcoming a major life challenge? Did you ever consider whether that event was random or predetermined? Synchronicities are those meaningful coincidences that seem to defy logic, and they often provide intuitive guidance if we're willing to pay attention. By being mindful of these occurrences and acting on the intuitive nudges they provide, we can navigate the complexities of reality with greater ease and purpose. By actively looking for glitches, we become more attuned to the underlying structure of reality and better equipped to navigate it, almost like a code reader looking for hidden messages. Remember, small actions can cause large changes, so be mindful of the ripples you create. What if the most insignificant decision you make today sets you on a completely different path than you ever imagined? Are you ready to embrace the uncertainty and excitement of reality glitching? Now, let's delve into an even more mind-bending concept: hyperreality. This term, coined by philosopher Jean Baudrillard, describes a state where simulations become more real than reality itself, where symbols and representations replace actual experiences. In hyperreality, we lose the ability to distinguish between the genuine and the artificial, blurring the lines between what is real and what is merely a construct. Think about social media, where we carefully curate online personas, presenting idealized versions of ourselves to the world. These constructed images often distort real-life experiences, creating a false sense of connection and authenticity. Or consider theme parks, those artificial environments that offer sanitized and idealized versions of reality, removing all the messiness and unpredictability of the real world. These environments can be entertaining, but they also reinforce the idea that reality can be manufactured and controlled. And what about political narratives, those carefully constructed stories and ideologies that shape public perception and often obscure the truth? Are we living in a world where politicians craft realities and then sell it to us? Hyperreality connects directly to the simulation hypothesis. If our perceived reality is a simulation, could it be built upon layers of simulations, making it increasingly difficult to distinguish the real from the artificial. Are we living in a simulation within a simulation, trapped in a hall of mirrors where every reflection is a distortion of the original? The rise of AI image generation has raised that concern even more. When we see an image online, we are now forced to ask, is this image real, or is it AI generated? What was the intent of generating the image? And if our reality has reached that level of hyperreality, then how can we truly know anything to be authentic? If we are living in hyperreality, how can we break free from the illusion and connect with something authentic? Is there even such a thing as authenticity in a simulated world? Or has the very concept of realness become obsolete in this era of manufactured experiences? Perhaps the key lies in recognizing the artificiality of our surroundings and actively seeking out experiences that feel genuine and meaningful, even if they are fleeting or imperfect. This brings us to a more controversial and perhaps unsettling topic: spiritual warfare. This concept suggests that there is an ongoing battle for our minds and souls, waged by unseen forces or entities that seek to manipulate our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, keeping us trapped in limiting patterns and preventing us from realizing our true potential. This battle is being fought on a metaphysical level, but it has tangible consequences in our everyday lives. These forces may not be visible to the naked eye, but their influence can be felt in the pervasive negativity, division, and fear that permeate our world. Consider how external influences, such as media messages, can sway an entire nation to vote for a specific candidate or support a particular cause. Are these decisions truly based on rational thought and informed consent, or are they the result of subtle manipulation and propaganda? These forces might employ a variety of weapons in this spiritual war. Negative thought forms, those persistent negative thoughts or beliefs that are not our own, can subtly erode our self-esteem and undermine our efforts to create a better life. Emotional manipulation, tactics used to trigger fear, guilt, or shame, can keep us trapped in cycles of self-doubt and self-sabotage. And technological influence, the use of technology to control or manipulate our minds, is becoming increasingly sophisticated, with algorithms designed to exploit our psychological vulnerabilities and keep us addicted to our devices. If we are under attack by unseen forces, how can we defend ourselves and reclaim our autonomy? Is it possible to completely shield ourselves from external influence, or is it a constant battle of awareness and resistance? Perhaps the first step is to recognize that this battle is real and that we are not passive observers but active participants. Once we acknowledge the existence of these unseen forces, we can begin to develop strategies for protecting ourselves and reclaiming our power. So, how do we claim our autonomy and defend ourselves against hyperreality and these unseen influences? The first step is discernment, the ability to distinguish between truth and illusion, authentic experiences, and artificial simulations. This requires a practice of critical analysis, questioning the information we receive and seeking out multiple perspectives before forming an opinion. We need to develop a healthy skepticism, refusing to blindly accept what we are told and instead relying on our own intuition and reasoning. Next is self-awareness, cultivating a deep understanding of our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, so we can recognize when they are being manipulated. This involves paying close attention to our inner dialogue, identifying the source of our self-talk, and distinguishing between thoughts that originate from within and those that are imposed from without. If you find yourself thinking negative or limiting thoughts, ask yourself, is this really my thought, or is it something I've picked up from someone else or from the media? Setting clear boundaries is another essential aspect of claiming autonomy, protecting ourselves from negative influences and energy vampires. This means learning to say no to requests that drain our energy, surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive people, and creating physical and emotional space for ourselves to recharge. How do you tell someone that you are not available to give them energy while still being polite and respectful? "I'm sorry, I'm not in a place to be able to offer support right now," can be a useful script. And of course, engage in spiritual practices. Meditation, prayer, or energy work can strengthen our connection to source consciousness and build our spiritual resilience. These practices help us to quiet the noise of the outside world and connect with our inner wisdom, providing us with guidance and strength in the face of adversity. Can you make that a daily habit to help maintain your own frequency? Remember, you cannot outsource any of these responsibilities to another person. Autonomy is the active process of self-rule and defense, and it requires constant vigilance and effort. Relying on others to protect us from unseen forces is a recipe for disaster. What if we are the only line of defense against the forces that seek to manipulate us? But even if we're in a simulation or a deterministic reality, we have the power to transcend its limitations and unlock our ultimate potential. By embracing the techniques and principles we've discussed, we can become masters of our own experience, shaping our reality and co-creating a more fulfilling world. Think of individuals who have achieved extraordinary feats by challenging limitations or creating new potential. For example, Elon Musk challenged the limitations of space travel by founding SpaceX, a company that aims to make space exploration more accessible and affordable. Or consider Malala Yousafzai, who challenged the limitations placed on girls' education by advocating for the right of all children to go to school. This is a constant practice, not an outcome to be achieved. The goal is to continue engaging each moment as a consciously aware being, rather than simply being reactive to the programming. What does this mean for you personally? How can you apply these principles to your own life and unlock your own unique potential? Are you ready to step into your power and become the master of your own destiny? So let's bring it all together. We've explored reality glitching, hyperreality, spiritual warfare, and claiming autonomy. We've discussed the power of choice, the importance of altered states of consciousness, and the potential existence of architects or programmers behind the scenes. But the most important takeaway is that this journey is about reclaiming our awareness and recognizing our true potential as conscious co-creators of reality. What if all of these concepts are simply different ways of describing the same fundamental truth, that we are more powerful than we realize, and that we have the ability to shape our world in profound ways? Commit to practicing the techniques and principles we've discussed. Share this information with others who may benefit from it. Continue to explore the mysteries of reality and to challenge the perceived limitations of your existence. Find what uniquely empowers you to consciously engage the moment, to live fully and authentically in the present. Even if we are already dead in some sense, we can still choose to live fully, consciously, and authentically in the present moment. The game may be challenging, but the rewards are immeasurable. The choice is yours. Are you ready to play? So let's weave these threads together. We began by asking a rather unsettling question: what if we're already dead? That question propelled us on an exploration touching upon entropy's cold embrace, the perplexing possibility of quantum immortality, the tantalizing simulation hypothesis, the elusive nature of time, and the distinction between spiritual death and the potential for profound awakening. These aren't just separate concepts. They are interconnected facets of a larger mystery, all hinting at the possibility that the reality we perceive isn't fixed, deterministic, or confined to our sensory experience. Think of it as a grand tapestry, each concept a thread interwoven with the others, creating a rich and complex picture. Entropy provides the somber backdrop, quantum immortality the thread of infinite possibility, the simulation hypothesis a layer of constructed illusion, and the illusion of time the thread that binds it all. By understanding each thread, we gain a deeper appreciation for the whole, and we can reframe the idea of already being dead, not as a morbid end, but as a radical invitation. An invitation to question everything, embrace the unknown, and live each moment with intention and awareness. Regardless of the nature of reality, whether we exist in a simulation, a deterministic universe, or simply perceive life through a limited lens, there are actionable steps we can take to reclaim our power and shape our experience. Consider reality glitching. Instead of passively accepting your daily routine, actively seek to disrupt it. Take a different route to work, try a new cuisine, challenge a long-held belief. This simple act of pattern disruption can reveal hidden layers of reality and unlock unexpected opportunities. Then there's consciousness expansion, which involves using meditation, breathwork, and exploring alternative perspectives to transcend your limitations. These practices aren't just abstract concepts. They are tools that can help you tap into your hidden potential. And of course, consistent belief reprogramming, because our beliefs shape our reality in ways we often don't realize. By identifying and challenging limiting beliefs, we can create space for more empowering ones. Think of how consistently meditating for just 15 minutes a day can radically transform your experience of life over a month. You might find yourself feeling calmer, more focused, and more resilient in the face of stress. But as we navigate this larger game, it's essential to consider the ethical implications of our actions. If we are all interconnected within a simulation or a deterministic reality, then even the smallest act can have ripple effects. Living with integrity, compassion, and a commitment to creating a more just and equitable world becomes not just a moral imperative, but a practical necessity. Even small acts of kindness, a word of encouragement, or a helping hand can contribute to the overall evolution of consciousness, creating a more positive and harmonious reality for all. Remember, we are not merely passive players in this game. We are active co-creators, shaping our reality with every thought, word, and action. So, how can we use our unique talents and abilities to contribute to the creation of a more fulfilling and sustainable future for all? What kind of world do we want to create? And what steps can we take to bring it into being? These questions are complex, and they may not have easy answers. But the journey of exploration and discovery is itself a valuable endeavor. The more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. Perhaps the most important thing is not to find all the answers, but to embrace the mystery and to live each moment with curiosity, wonder, and a deep appreciation for the gift of life. As you continue down your path, experimenting with different perspectives and practices, know that the conversation doesn't end here. Share your insights, experiences, and questions in the comments section below. And be sure to subscribe, because in future videos, we'll continue to tackle these subjects and explore even more mind-bending aspects of reality.